Alright, welcome back everyone. So today we have a problem from Brazil 2013. And it goes, so there's a fixed set of positive integers a, and Arnaldo picks like a hidden number, little a. And then Bernaldo has to pick any integer b and get the number of divisors of a times b. And you would like to show that you can figure out the number chosen. So I think there's a number theory flavor that won't be too important. Thank you, Space Sam, for the sub. 4 months. And you kind of only care about the the exponents. So what we're gonna do is suppose like a equals. So in maximal generality, it's going to look like a equals e1 to the p1 pk to the. Let me think. So, what if I draw A as a table where there's some number of primes, and then each row of the table I have like some exponents. So maybe I have 1, 2. Let me just draw up like 5 primes for concreteness. Uh, 0, 1, 4, 0. Or something like this. So you have this thing, and I want to pick a little b such that the number of factors I can tell the numbers apart. Okay. I wonder if it's possible to just pick the factors of b to be enormous. It feels like that should leave enough. Just multiply all the primes up to the largest element of A. Wait, if I take the product of all the primes? I don't think that works. Does it? Oh, wait, no, it... No, you don't get AB, you get like the number of factors, right? So like if the thing was like 1 0 0 0 0 and then 0 0, if you try to take B equals P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, it does not work. So I don't think that's what you want. But my thought was I'm going to like let B be equal, let n be huge, and let like b equals like p1 to the n, let's see, p2 to the n squared, p3 to the n cubed, p4 to the n to the 4, p5 to the n to the 5. And what happens is if n is sufficiently large, if I take n to be a huge, sufficiently large, then when you do the multiplication, a times b will be equal to p1 times n plus e1, p2 times n squared plus e2, p3 times n cubed plus e3. Actually, hang on. I don't want to do 1, 2, 4, 5, actually. I want to do 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. I think I need to go even faster. N to the 8 plus e4, p5 times n to the 16 plus e5. I think that will work. Because the reason is when suppose a is p1 to the e1, p5 to the e5. When I expand this, the number of factors is like n plus e1 plus 1, n plus e2 plus 1, n plus e3 plus 1, n to the 4 plus e4 plus 1. Oh, I'm bad at typing. Okay, I think this will work now. because when I expand this, if n is big enough, then there's no regrouping. So by looking in base n, you can recover whatever products went into it, right? So for example, then if n is huge, working in base n, look at the coefficient of n to the 23, I guess, and then it'll work. This is a computer science trick? Well, there you go. Yeah, so this will work now, because now you can just recover all the exponents, and it's fine. Yeah, you can store 3 position values in one number. Thank you, Paul Gapes, for the follow. Okay, so I think this just works now, right? Because n is so big, can you tell us a bit of motivation? I think I wanted the base idea. You kind of saw I started with like n squared, n cubed, n fourth, n to the fifth, and then I decided to make it bigger. So, sorry, I think the p5 is actually distracting. Let me just do 4 primes. If I have 4 primes, and let me get rid of the plus ones, because that's actually distracting. So we'll do it -1, although it obviously doesn't really matter. So, So the point is, what I do is I pick a parameter n, which is like really big, like larger than say like the factor, like the n be huge, e.g. n greater than like 10 to the 10 to the a plus 100 or something like that. So something that's very big in terms of the elements in A. And what happens when you do that, what happens is when you expand, this n is really large. It's so large, or not 23, but it's so large that you don't get any regrouping. So you can figure out what the coefficients look like. So n is like, in fact, I'll even do n equals 10 to the 100 because it's easier to think about if you think n is a power of 10. Like the product of number of divisors. It's so like the coefficient of capital N is E2, E3, E4, N, plus like the capital coefficient of N squared is E1, E3, E4, and so on. The largest possible one is N to the 15. The N to the 14 one is just E1. And the point is, like, even though officially you only have this number, because N is so large, all you have to do is read off freaking. Did I miss double subscript? Because N is so large, you can read off what all the coefficients are by taking N very, very large. Okay, but that'll work. Yeah. You made N, yeah. I think N just has to be bigger than like... You need to be big enough so there's no regrouping, and all the coefficients are products of EIs. So it just has to be larger than like the product of the X. So yeah, N equals 10 to the max A probably works. Probably something a lot smaller works. Oh crap. Max A. Yeah, N just has to be bigger than the product. Yeah, I mean, I wrote it that way because when I was writing it, I hadn't done the rest of the calculation yet, so I didn't know how big I wanted N to be. I just know I wanted it to be big. So I just put on run that thing, and then once I reach this and actually write out what this calculation is, then I see, okay, yeah, you can probably do less. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't even need to solve the system because, like, 4 of the coefficients will just be the singleton, right? Like, you actually get every... Oh, I forgot you when E2, E3, 4. Yeah, but you don't even need to say, like, for example, if you want the value of e3, you look at the coefficient of n to the 11. No, the 4 is just for demonstration purposes. Like, it's easier for me to write out this example. You would do the same in general with k. Yeah. Yeah. The 4 is just for concreteness. You can change 4 to k if you want. Why would you look at n to the 11? Because when you look at this, what's the coefficient of n to the 11, for example? It's exactly e3. So my point is you can recover each individual ei by looking at one of... The equations are like... Yeah. e3, right? Not e2. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. So n... Okay, you know, I'll just write the correct thing. N strictly greater than product of max VP A across. Yeah, but the point is, you want to, I'm allowed to, the problem is telling you can pick these numbers, and my idea is I want to pick them big enough there's no regrouping. Like, you don't want them to be the itty bitty numbers. You want them to be huge numbers so that you can read off more information than... Yeah. In computer graphics, we store a 3D... Oh man, that's funny. Okay, see, this is why I picked the Brazil problem, because... I mean, honestly, the problem statement just kind of looked like it should be quick. I don't know. Alright, so what else did we say we had on the table? I don't know if the Korea is easier or the... You know, let's try the parabola geo. Yeah, I think this is a good free problem, for sure. You have the parameters, so choose them. NT-construct. I wouldn't call this NT-construct, to be honest. And the reason is I don't feel like I don't think it's very number theoretic. Like, I think the number theory is just there as flavor text for the most part for this problem. How? I don't know. Depending on who you ask, I mean, you can classify as a lot of things. I just don't feel like I use many properties of integers. I'll put it